Welcome to the Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl, here to bring you another reading for Gemini for April 2024. This is for the solar eclipse happening on the 8th of April. We are the 6th of April when I do this reading. I thank you, Spirit, for protecting the collective and keeping us safe, for protecting me and keeping me safe. I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares, most of all for showing up. Gemini. This eclipse is in the sun, so it's all about our self-expression, who we are, our soul, what it is that we want to do, what we do for ourselves. It's happening in Aries. Aries represents the first house, so it may not be in the first house for you in particular, but it is about communication, because, well, you are Gemini. How you communicate, who you communicate to, what you communicate. If you communicate at all, you have to go back and see what that lunar eclipse brought you. And then that'll gauge what the solar eclipse is going to prepare you for coming up. Again, it's all about the self, reflection on the sun, and what the sun represents in your life. Again, it is all about the self. That's why I'm using the 6-card spread as I did for the lunar eclipse reading. And of course, the first card is all about you, Gemini. Princess of Pentacles. Just want to make sure that everything is in focus. The cards are quite large, so I want to make sure that they're seen. So this is all about you, Princess of Pentacles, and your focus. Your focus on whatever it is you're working on. This is what the eclipse in the sun is all about. What we do as work goes, what we call work. You may be reflecting on changing work, what you do for work. A new beginning, wanting a new job. Maybe you're applying for a different position in the same company, or you're looking to change the company that you work with. You are focused, and Spirit is bringing in what you love. Again, I don't seem to have a lot of room here. My God. Okay. Kind of close to the edge. So Spirit is bringing in what you love. That's probably where you're changing or thinking of what you do love as work goes. You want to change. Maybe the way that you communicate at work, or communicate with what you love at work. It depends on you. Maybe it has nothing to do with work at all. It's all about what you love to do. And that is where you bring in change. Spirit is making you look at the memories, where you've been, what you've done, how you communicate. The final outcome here, or potential, I should say, because it is potential. It seems to be carrying on more than you can carry, being a burden, or putting it down, coming to the end. Maybe the love of what you were doing has come to an end, and you want to make change. You want to see change. You want to change everything about where you work, what you do for work, what you love about what you do. Put down the burden, because you've done so much. Maybe you've done too much, because that's what the 10 would represent. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Princess of Wands. So a new beginning and that enthusiasm to move on. And with the 10 plus the 1 is an 11. It's a doorway, a portal that opens up. And this is what the eclipse is going to bring for you. To help you see what you love, where it has brought you, and to make that change because it is too much. There is something, again, for those of you who are looking at what you do for work, you want to change that, and it will be a change. Now, again, if it is about personal relationships, about what you love, maybe you were doing all the work in the relationship and you realize that you need to focus on what you want, because that is what the eclipse is going to bring. It's going to put an end to you having to do all the work for others and focus on yourself about what you want, because that is what it is with the eclipse. It's pretty straightforward. For Gemini, having trouble communicating, we're not having trouble there at all. Let's see what comes under here. We have the Justice card. Again, the Justice. It's just desserts coming around for lots of us. Eh? And then we have that King of Wands. So really having a plan because of the Justice being served, giving you that opportunity to go forward with what you want, with the enthusiasm. And again, the plan is already in your head. You've been focused. You know what you want to do. But it will take time. It's a slow process, the changes that you want. And then the 10 of Pentacles coming in. We see to have a Tower coming in here as well. Let's see a little further in. For the 3 of Cups. Okay, so it's a question of going a little further and healing and celebrating that ending, celebrating putting down the burden, coming into the work that you want to do, because we have another 11 here, another portal opening up where you may have made up your mind to move forward and you're taking the steps, and because you are focused again, and because you are taking into consideration the love of what you've done, because you did love what you were doing to the point where it became too much, and now things have to change, and you're able to step forward and make the change. So much so that there's a plan ahead. If this is not you, this is maybe your boss, where you work. Again, it seems to be very work related because of all the pentacles involved, especially with the 10 here. It seems that you may have that love for a fire sign, for some, if it is romantic, and that you're looking forward to having a family built around that, because you want to move forward, and there are plans that are made. Could be dealing with inheritance too, for you to celebrate, because the Tower is coming down. There's change that's coming in, bringing in that wealth, bringing in that abundance, that the job. Maybe you change work for the better and you get a promotion, or you just change where you work and you have that sense of belonging and fairness where you work because of that Justice card. But again, it has taken time. It is taking time. It will take time, depending on your situation, for the changes that are coming in, either where you work, or is it dealing with your family, or just the fact that you're providing for yourself because you're following the plans that you've made, and because of the focus that you've put on yourself, and the willingness to step into a new phase, a new cycle. Justice is being served. Okay, so let's see the second layer, because it is a 6-card spread, and the first layer is pretty much what the eclipse is bringing in for you to show you that change within the self. You're seeing where you've done so much out of love, you've carried the burden. Now things have to change, and things will change once the eclipse comes in. Things will change. Do one more shuffle and cut. So the second layer is, again, it's all about you and the effects of the changes that are being brought on because of the eclipse. Okay, so we'll cut. It is quite a large deck that I'm using. It's the Druid Craft deck. Okay, really close to my edges here. I do have the camera up high. Okay, so the second layer, here we have the Eight of Swords. So it's a question of changing the way things are thought of, the way your mindset, you're working on that, you're focused on having things go differently because of what you grew up with. You see, you want to change certain things. You want to voice that change, but you're not too sure how to go about it, but you're working on it. Your focus is on having that mindset change. Spirit is bringing in that love for you and the memory of it. If it is that you were burdened by love, or your love has been burdened, people have taken advantage of you in many ways, that you have now begun to realize that this is not what you want. This is where you're thinking about. Focus on what you can do to make the changes come. Again, it could be relating to work. It could just be in personal relationships. You take it as it resonates. Again, we come in with the swords. So a lot of mental going on here. And 8 becomes the 9. So again, the worry about not having, or the worry about having to do so much, having had that advantage has been taken because of your generous and loving self. You see, you're feeling that you're not getting what you love, or what you love is not being reciprocated. Wanting to make that change. Holding on, being stubborn in some cases. It depends on you and your situation. Because again, it is a burden. It's been a burden. There's the love here that you've had, or the relationship in itself, or relationships have been a burden to you. And you're feeling that you're worrying about it, or your concern is about having or not having that love. And then the outcome to that, well, there's only so much we could take, and then we have to change. So the experience in itself is going to bring that change, that worrying and wondering and being burdened by and having to do so much. That's where it's going to change. Spirit is going to make sure that you remember, because Spirit is using you here, or others, again, their concern for you, their love for you. You see, this very sensitive nature here. Again, this is Spirit working through you or others, bringing in that love, making you remember your love and the burden of your love being burdened by others. You see, there is where change is going to come. It's on a very strong spiritual level where you are being worked with here. You focusing on yourself to make changes in your personal life. Here's where that is what Spirit is working with you on. And using other people within your circle to help you. And it may not be in the way that you are thinking is a right way, where you're being burdened. It is because of the burden that you will have the changes come, where you won't be able to tolerate anymore. This is where the 9 comes in. And there it is, the 10 of Pentacles. You see, it is where either family, or work comes to bring in that change, because it's too much now. It's too much. Something that, and I say something, it's all about how you were made to feel, or how you have dealt with others, or how others have dealt with you. There is too much. And the Nine of Swords proves this, wherein change needs to be brought in, and it will change. This is the eclipse bringing in that change. And because change is going to come, there's going to be an end that will bring in the boons for you. This is where abundance comes in, and an abundance in the form of what is valuable to you. So it could be the family in itself, it could be a marriage, it could be just people around you, where you work, the kind of work that you do, you're being paid out. And it could also be that you're changing jobs, where the work will end. And the Six of Wands is where you'll be recognized for that work. And then the Six of Swords going into peaceful times. Maybe you're going to leave, you're going to travel, you're going to have enough of where you are, so that you can now make plans to move and go travel and have enough money. Or become the boss. Again, there's justice again coming around. So it's coming back to the justice card that we saw earlier in the shuffle, if I'm not mistaken, where things will change, conversation will happen, and it again seems to be going around the world where you get what you deserve because you've been burdened so much. You're going to have that peace of mind. With that Six of Swords, you get recognized. The Tower is coming down. There's something that is changing, where maybe where you work, the change is coming in to where you work, that will make it easy, because there is change on a deep level here that has been a burden, and where you have been doing all the work, so that you don't have to give up what you love, because that seems to be where your mindset is, that you're being burdened to the point where you're feeling you have to leave. But Spirit isn't going to take away what you love. Spirit is going to ease the way for what you love. Seems to be pretty straightforward with that. In that sense, it's really work related. Again, it is the sun, and the sun reflects off of our actions, what we do. Our sun sign really represents what we do for work. So the relationship with your job, the relationship with the people that you do work with, there's a particular mindset focusing on changing the job, changing where you work. For some. Again, for others, it could just be that relationship, that personal relationship. For family, where you're burdened by the family, or you're taking on the work to provide for the family. Spirit is going to help you come through, and money needs to come in. It will come in, because it is the Ten of Pentacles. If it is about work, then you have a portal opening up for money to come into you. Again, personal change, where you work, the boss that you work for, maybe that's what you're looking forward to, that management level is different. It will be different, because that's what we have here with the King of Pentacles. Right here, that King of Pentacles, he represents what would be a leadership role, a boss even, the Emperor. So let's see what the Oracle message is. And I'm using the Wild Woman Oracle deck for this solar eclipse, simply because the sun does represent us, ourselves, what we project out there. And here is where the eclipse will bring out in us this type of woman. And it is not just for women. It is the feminine aspect, the strength of femininity, whether you're a male or a female. If it is that you are looking for a relationship, because the lunar eclipse was about relationships. So if you are a woman, you're looking into how you are reflected through the eclipse and what the eclipse will bring out in you. This is where the wild woman comes in. So the energy of what will come from the change bringing in, that the eclipse is bringing in through you as on a personal level. And if it is that you're a male and you're not focusing on the feminine side of yourself, but you're looking for the next woman because you are looking for that love that spirit wants to bring you, that you're worried that you won't get because you're working and you're burdened by work and you need to see a change and you want to have a family. This is where the Wild Woman deck will show you the type of woman that will come to you if it is that's what you focus on, because the eclipse of the sun is to really bring in what we want, this our efforts, what we do to bring change in our lives, because you have done and still do. You've done so much that you're burdened by it now. Spirit says that change is coming in a good way, in a very productive and lucrative way for some, and for others it depends on what is value to you, if it is in money or family or whatever the abundance represents in your life. Thank you, Spirit. What is the oracle message for Gemini? January's rebirth. I see a rebirth, a new beginning, which is represented by the 13, the death card. And then we have the aim, the fairy queen, protection. She is pretty popular with the readings so far. She's been in a few of them. So the January's rebirth. Maybe you want to see what January represents for you, because it's a rebirth here. Type of woman. This is where you get to self-express. This is where the type of woman, if you're a male coming to you, or even if you're a female, you want a same-sex relationship. Again, type of woman that will come to you. Again, it is either reflecting you or the person coming to you. 29. Let's see. For Gemini. 29. January's rebirth. In what ways is my higher self calling me to step up so that I can give birth to a new version of myself who is wiser, more aware of my needs, and more authentic? Again, this is self-expression. You're working on change, changing who you are, working with what you love through spirit, putting down the burden and becoming more, and not worrying so much. Let's see where the message here is. This card reminds you that we come to Earth to learn lessons and grow, and often do so by making mistakes. We discover our needs after repeatedly putting ourselves into relationships where our needs are not met. We discover who we truly are after we tire of juggling too many masks. This is the nature of the journey we signed up for as souls living the human experience. Acknowledge your mistakes and ponder what these errors have taught you about your true self, needs, and most authentic desires. Goes on to say that throughout our lives, our higher self will call us to initiate a rebirth of the self, to show up for ourselves every day, to be the best of our ability, and as we want others to show up for us, to stop fooling ourselves into thinking that we can somehow achieve more inner and outer freedom without first achieving greater self-discipline, to recognize that everything occurring in our external reality, good or bad, is mirroring a lesson that we have yet to grasp internally. Again, that is where the focus is. that new beginning. Gemini, you are working. You are working on you. Again, you know who you are. You know what needs to change. You know your own stubbornness. You know that you are fixed in your mind. You have a particular mindset that you know needs to change. And there is love that is, someone is concerned for you, or you are concerned about having that love. Maybe it was what was taken from you from the last eclipse, that you realize what was the burden, and now you know what you need to do to change and have that love and have that sense of belonging again. Let's see what the 32, the Ain, the Fairy Queen for protection. Let's see, because this is where the vulnerability is raw. When you can sit and know that you need to change, and that you know you need to see things for what they really are. Let's see the 32. Because Spirit has your back, and Spirit is helping you through this. You'll get through. Again, it's all in how you communicate with yourself first, before you can do it with others. So, protection, the Ain, Fairy Queen. Is my mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual well-being being threatened or violated by another? And if so, what boundaries can I put in place to protect myself? Well, there it is. That is what this eclipse is going to bring for you. To put the boundaries so that you don't do all the work, that you don't take on all of the burden, all of the blame, all of the worrying, that you have to do everything right in a particular way. Being able to change the mindset is what you're focusing on, which is the good thing. That is where your protection comes in. Call upon Ain for protection if you feel that your personal sovereignty and safety is being physically, mentally, or emotionally, spiritually threatened. The Fairy Queen empathically reminds you that even if you have been violated in some way, your honor can never be taken from you, as it is inherent. So there it is. You are making those changes. You have come to recognize what is burdensome in your life, in your love, in what you love, maybe where you work. But there you are concerned, and with reason. But your concern is being watched over by Spirit. Because change that needs to happen is definitely going to happen for you, Gemini. On that note, I thank you for showing up, for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Until our next read, Gemini, love and light.